Hello ladies and gents, we're going to get real nerdy today. We'll be talking about the Godzilla versus Kong, like tiny little teaser, because I made a video talking about the scaling. A few people thought I was hating, FYI, really not. I love these things, mainly because I get to do videos like this, where I learn about things that I never knew. Because obviously, like, I'm looking at this and I'm like, Kong's really big, right? Like, he's massive. Or is he not? Like, how do we scale these things? How do we compare them? So I had a look at the biggest aircraft carrier that the US has, and also just the world, which is what the US has, which is the USS Gerald R. Ford. And I thought what we can do is we can take a look and we can see whether the scaling is actually off. Turns out it's not. Turns out Kong has grown incredibly. And this is what's really important, is if this is actually going to be in the film, because we don't know. They may have made this just as promotional material. So I thought we'd dive into it today. A bit of these theory videos that I used to do for the Monsterverse. I've done loads of them and I really, really enjoyed them. And that's why it's really good having these points of contention that we can discuss and go, well, what's actually going on? So before you watch any future videos and you think it's hating, it's not, because it means that, objectively we can look at these things and we can decipher it together, So I got both images here, just superimposed over one another, right? And you've got Godzilla and Kong on an aircraft carrier. Now, removing the fact that they wouldn't be able to do that. Okay, like obviously they wouldn't be able to do that, it would sink. Very, very clearly, due to the weight of them both, stability-wise, whatever. I understand it's like some pseudo world and all that nonsense. But I thought to myself, I was like, right, okay, so because Godzilla looks small, right? He looks small. He looks small mainly because Gareth Edwards on the first one messed up the scaling. Like, he swam next to an aircraft carrier and he dwarfed it, which he has later when they did the watch along on Twitter. He tweeted out saying, "Oh, looks like I've messed up the scaling." He did. Like, he ruined the scaling. They got it back under control, actually, for Godzilla King of the Monsters, even though they increased his size. So here's a really, really interesting size chart, right? Godzilla in Godzilla King of the Monsters is actually 119 meters or 118 meters tall. And this is about right, because Kong in Skull Island is only 31.7 meters tall. So this, on a scaling perspective, is actually right. This Monsterverse size chart is bang on, okay? So we've got to keep the fact, and we've got to maintain the fact that Godzilla is still the same size. He's 118, 119 meters tall, whatever it is. We'll keep that, okay, because that's important, right? Because when we then look at this, clearly Kong ain't no 31 meters anymore. So he's definitely increased in size. We can say that he is, without a shadow of a doubt, there's a bit of squat there to Godzilla. I'll give you that. But even when we look at these images, the way the legs go, it's about the same, isn't it? It's about the same. So he's pretty much that 118 meters tall still. He's not squatting down that much. So it does mean that Kong has grown. Predicated on the fact that this is an image from the movie. I'm aware. But then the question comes, well, is it even Godzilla? Is it Godzilla? Because he looks small by comparison to the aircraft carrier. And he does. But, and this is the important thing, if we're looking at real world aircraft carriers, and this is what I found fascinating when I came to make this video. The USS Gerald R. Ford is massive. It has a length of 333 meters. 333 meters. Now I'm looking at Godzilla, and I'm looking at that aircraft carrier, and I'm like, so he's 119 meters, 119 meters tall. If you lay him sideways, I mean, that's not the USS Gerald R. Ford. Like, it can't be, because doesn't look to be 333 meters long. It actually looks to be quite a small aircraft carrier. Maybe it's, you know, the because it comes from a particular class of warship. So maybe it's similar-ish. It's the similar class, but that doesn't look to be the one I've got down there at the bottom, the USS Gerald R. Ford. So it's definitely Godzilla. It's definitely Godzilla because height-wise, comparison to real world, again, it might not be Godzilla, but just for the sake of argument, it is, because real world ships are actually longer than Godzilla is. So again, looking at this, it looks to be that Kong has absolutely just become a behemoth. He's shot up in size. So I guess the point of the question is like, how tall is Kong in Godzilla vs. Kong? Well, judging from this image, he looks to be on par with Godzilla. Now, I will agree, in the first promo images that we'd seen of Godzilla vs. Kong, is that he looked to have been jumping. But this he's not. He's absolutely not. That teaser trailer, he wasn't jumping. He was running, but you can see he's got human-like proportions here. It's about right, you know? He is about right in terms of that's how tall he is standing up upright. So it doesn't look to be. I would hazard a guess he has somehow managed to grow to the 118, 119 meters, if this is in the film. But it's fascinating. It's absolutely fascinating. This is, again, why these points of contention are important. And looking at it objectively is important, because otherwise I wouldn't have come to make this video. And this video is really fun. I've really enjoyed it. So like I say, I mean, the total length of the Gerald R. Ford is 333 meters. So looking at this logically, you've got Godzilla there, able to stand there, and he's still got his tail length, and then you've got Kong on the side. It could be the Gerald R. Ford, but I mean, the tower there, the comms tower is not the same. Again, they're literally under one another. It's not the same, but it's similar, you know. And yes, it's probably a Monarch vessel, but they're modelling it after one of the biggest aircraft, well, the biggest aircraft carrier in the world, which is the Gerald R. Ford. So, how tall is Kong in Godzilla vs. Kong? Well, judging by this, if this is Godzilla, if this is one of the biggest ships in the world, then he is about 119 meters. Now, there is the flip side to this, is that it could be, ladies and gents, it could be Mechagodzilla. Doubtful, though. Doubtful. I don't see a way, unless they go really batshit crazy with the more sort of fictional elements, right? The sort of way off on the beaten track science, that this is going to be Mechagodzilla. I can't see it. We know that there's rumours of him appearing in the film. There's rumours. But I can't see that that's Mechagodzilla. But if it is, then yeah, Kong's a lot shorter than the 118, 119 meters tall. But there you go. I thought you'd enjoy this video. I really enjoyed making this and learning all about the Gerald R. Ford. I thought it was fascinating. So, how tall is he? Judging by this, probably on par with Godzilla. How did he get there? Who knows at this point in time? Who knows? Clearly he's been tinkered with, he's been messed about with to increase in size that much. Yeah, he's a big boy. Because of course, and this is the go-to argument for everyone, the go-to argument is, well, he was an adolescent. They said in Kong Skull Island that he was going to grow. And it's like, yes, but, ladies and gents, there's growing, and then there's being Godzilla size, which is a far cry from what he was there. So there you go, ladies and gents. Let me know your thoughts down below. Have you learnt anything new? What do you think? Do you think it's Mechagodzilla? Do you think it's a different aircraft carrier? Do you think it's similar? What do you think? Let me know down below. And again, scaling's fun. It's interesting. We can check it all out and learn new stuff. But let me know your thoughts down below if you're new here. Do hit subscribe. Also, guys, live streaming tonight. This is the 18th of the 1st, so January 18th, 9 p.m. GMT, 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And we've got special guest Lauren Chen. She will be joining the Roundtable live. If you don't get notifications, head on over to my Twitter at Mr. H Reviews. Thanks so much. Take care.